So here is Kalidas. He's a wealthy man. He's a very prestigious personality. But he's just wandering around Bengal begging for some dust and for some eaten mango pits. Now, he's the one that gave the mango. Certainly he could have bought a few for himself, offered them to Krishna, and just could have all that juicy pulp, right? He could have just relished all that juicy mango pulp like every Bengali likes. But he didn't want it. He wanted the dried up, tasteless fibers that are just stuck to the seed after 2 people eat it. And as he was sucking that, even if there were no fibers, just the seed itself that they all put their mouths on, the Vaishnavas, Jaru Thakur and his wife, they put their saliva on that seed. Even if there was no fibers, he was just licking the seed. Amazing. And he was weeping in ecstasy as he was sucking the seed and the skins. Because of his faith. To him, that was more delicious than rasgullas and sandesh and gulab jamans and samosas, or even belpuri. For those of you from Chopati Beach. Because what was he tasting? He was not tasting with his tongue. He was tasting with his heart. Yes. He considered this the greatest wealth in all of Brahma's creation. To get that Maha Prasad. And in this way, he successfully attained the treasure of the remnants of every Vaishnava in Bengal. Without discrimination of their caste or their education or what kind of house they lived in or anything like that. Only their devotion. Nobody knew he did this. He didn't advertise it. He didn't have a special website with a photo essay of how he got the remnants of every Vaishnava. He didn't tell anyone he was doing this. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Lord within the heart. He knows. He has such faith in my devotees. He loves those who I love so much. He's really the servant of the servant of the servant. And it's not that he never offended anyone. Those who didn't want him to take the remnants, they never knew. He did it so discreetly. And he served them. He went to their houses. He spoke beautiful words to them. He expressed his devotion to them, his respect for them. He arranged nice prasad for them. He was serving the devotees. But what was his mood of service? That's what the Lord sees. The Lord does not see He does not see what we give. He sees the purpose in which we give. And if we give something to those who we love, who Krishna loves, Prabhupada would sometimes quote the Western saying, "Love me, love my dog." And it's true. Sometimes when I'm walking down an American street dressed like this, people look like, what are you? And the easiest way to break through the barrier is if somebody has a dog. If they're walking their dog. It works every time, without exception. If you go to America, try it and you'll see. It's like a magic mantra. If they're walking their dog, they look at you, they won't even look at you. And you just say, and I just say, what a beautiful dog. And they just look at me and they smile and they have tears in their eyes and say, oh, thank you very much. Then sometimes they even start asking about Krishna. You're laughing, but this is true. Prabhupada said, love me, love my dog. Where does this come from? Its origin is in Krishna. If you become Krishna's dog, a devotee wants to be Krishna's dog in that sense. And therefore, if you love a devotee, then Krishna's heart is yours. Because Krishna loves his devotees so much. Mad bhakta puja vyadika. If you love Krishna directly, that's nice. But if you love the servant of Krishna, then Krishna's heart is yours. Krishna so much loves his devotee that he appreciates someone who gives pleasure to his devotee more than he appreciates someone who gives pleasure to him directly. This is the nature of love. So after successfully fulfilling his vow, Kalidas came to Jagannath Puri. And he was about to embark on a mission that was extremely dangerous. Should I tell? Lord Chaitanya would go to the Singhadwaram, the main gate of Jagannath temple. And as a sannyasi, Govinda, his servant, would carry his kamandalu, his water pot. And at the bottom of the steps, before going up the steps, there was a little area, like a gutter area, where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would wash his feet before going into the temple. Because after all, this is Lord Jagannath's temple. And he wanted to be as clean as possible to go into Jagannath's home. So he would wash his feet. But Lord Chaitanya, being in the mood of a devotee, would not allow anyone to ever touch a single drop of that water. He made this very strongly clear. It would be considered a humiliation and an embarrassment for him, for anyone to take that water and touch it. Because as a devotee, he was thinking his feet are dirty and nobody should touch it. And because he made it so clear, the devotees were so afraid to go near that water. Nobody dared to even attempt to touch that water. Except a few of the most intimate, confidential devotees, somehow or other, without the Lord knowing, very secretly. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami does not tell how they did it. But very discreetly, without the Lord knowing, they would figure out a way to get it on rare occasions. Hare Krishna. So when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was about to ascend the stairs at the Singhadwaram, his kamandalu poured the water over his feet, And Kalidas appeared right at that moment. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looked at him. This is the servant of my servants. This devotee serves the Vaishnavas with such faith. The water poured onto Lord Chaitanya's feet, and Kalidas cupped his hands right under Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. The water, it all poured right off of his feet, and all the drops of it fell into Kalidas's cupped hands. Could you imagine the other devotees there? In Lord Chaitanya's presence, they wouldn't even look at that water. They were so afraid of the Lord's wrath. And he's just filled his hands up, and they're all watching. And Lord Chaitanya is looking right at him. And then right in front of the Lord's lotus eyes and all the other Vaishnavas, he takes the cupped hands filled with the water and drinks it. Large quantity. What's going to happen now? Will the Lord explode like a golden volcano? What happened next is he put his cupped hands under the feet again. And the water cascaded off Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet, filled his hands, filled the cupped hands, and he drank the second helping. Lord Chaitanya is just looking at him. And the amazing thing is Lord Chaitanya keeps washing his feet. After he did this twice, Lord Chaitanya is continuing to wash his feet. And then he puts both of his hands again and fills a third helping and drinks it. And he's only this far from Lord Chaitanya. He's right next to him, under his feet, drinking. 1, 2, 3. And Lord Chaitanya is still washing his feet. And then he goes for a fourth one. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, finally, he says something. That's enough. He never, ever showed anyone this mercy. Not even his most confidential associates. Why? Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayora Dasa Dasa Das Anudas. Because he was the very personification, the embodiment of one of the primary teachings of Lord Chaitanya. To be the servant of the servant of the servant. With love, with respect, with affection. Then Lord Chaitanya went to Kashi Mishra's home, Gambhira, and he was served by Govinda, Lord Jagannath's prasad. It was his lunchtime. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ate, and Lord Chaitanya happened to see Kalidas. From a little distance, he happened to see Kalidas, through a window, through the door, just kind of peeking to see if there's any hope that he'll get some of Lord Chaitanya's remnants. And when Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finishes his prasad, he tells Govinda, bring this prasad to Kalidas. Servant of the servant of the servant. Again, we reiterate, service is not just doing something. It's how we do it. When we serve a Vaishnava and we really feel ourselves fortunate and we really honor that person's connection to Krishna, And we're grateful for the opportunity to do it. And we do it in such a spirit of humility, whoever we are. That attitude conquers Krishna. Even when we do deity worship, our mood is, we're only the servant of the servant. We're assisting Srila Prabhupada, we're assisting our gurus, we're just, they're doing. We're just assisting them on their behalf. Then Krishna accepts our offerings. If we try to do directly, Krishna will not be so happy. But if we really do it in a spirit of the servant, that is true bhakti. And that is what Prahlad Maharaj is speaking here in this verse today. That O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, original spiritual master of the entire world, what is the difficulty for you who manage the affairs of the universe in delivering the fallen souls engaged in your devotional service? You are the friend of all suffering humanity, and for great personalities it is necessary to show mercy to the foolish. Therefore, I think that you will show causeless mercy to persons like us who engage in your service. And Srila Prabhupada ends his purport. He says another significant point in this verse is that by devotional service, Prahlad Maharaj does not want to benefit alone. Rather, he prays to the Lord that all of us fallen souls in this material world may, by the grace of the Lord, engage in the service of his servant and thus be delivered. The grace of the Lord is not at all difficult for the Lord to bestow, and thus Prahlad Maharaj wants to save the whole world by spreading Krishna consciousness. Another example of this quickly is King Prataparudra. He was king. He wanted the Lord's darshan. The Lord said no. Niskinchanasya bhagavad bhajano mukasya param jigamasura bhavasagarasya. I am sannyasi. To associate with a materialist person like this is more deadly than drinking poison willingly. If you even ask me again, I will leave this place. He was so strict. When the king approached the Lord, he was rejected. But then King Prataparudra served Ramananda Rai. Ramananda Rai came and told Lord Chaitanya that when King Prataparudra heard, when I asked him if I could resign from government service to serve you, immediately, as soon as he heard your name, he was in ecstasy crying. He got up from his throne and he gave me not only full permission to leave my service and come and serve you, but he gave me my full salary and all sorts of other benefits just to make me happy. And because Ramananda Rai was so pleased by the king's service to him, Lord Chaitanya quoted the same verse that Prabhupada is from the 11th canto, Mad Bhakta Puja Vyadika. That Krishna is more pleased when we serve his servants. Because King Prataparudra has served you with so much faith and affection, Krishna will certainly bestow his full mercy upon you. And what culminated is when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the king taking the role of a street sweeper. Taking Jadu Thakur's role of sweeping the street before Jagannath and the Vaishnavas. Then he decided in his heart, I will give him my full mercy. And in that garden, near the Ayatota, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was resting for some time after hours and hours of Nam Kirtan. And the devotees, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Ramananda Rai, Nityananda Prabhu, the devotees sent King Prataparuja in the clothes of a Vaishnava, simple clothing. Go in there, sing Gopi Gita, and massage his feet. And when he went in, just following the instructions of the Vaishnavas, exactly what they did, because they were so pleased. They wanted so much for him. It was the devotee's desire that was his qualification. And why did the devotees have that desire? Because of his desire to serve them, to love them, to do everything for them. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pretended he didn't know who he was. And he embraced him again and again and again. And bathed that king with his own tears. And finally he said, you have come to bring me so much nectar. Who are you? And King Prataparuja revealed his heart. Revealed the basic foundation of his life. He said, I am the servant of your servant. And my only aspiration is to be the servant of your servant of your servant. Now he said it very truthfully from his heart. And Lord Chaitanya understood that he meant it. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya revealed to him his own divine opulences. He manifested his form of Krishna to him. And the devotees outside were struck with wonder. What mercy he's receiving. None of the devotees, and then when he came out, after bowing down to the Lord, after he came out, he bowed down to every devotee because he knew that it was not his qualification. Like Prahlad. Prahlad sees Lord Nrsimha. He's not thinking, I am very great. He's giving all credit to Narada Muni, his guru. Similarly, King Prataparuja just saw the opulences of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just received the supreme blessings of Lord Chaitanya, and he comes out and bows down to every devotee. It's all your mercy. Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays to his guru, your mercy is all that I am made of. It's the only thing that can connect me to Krishna is your mercy. If you're proud, you cannot access mercy. Mercy is only accessible to the degree our heart is genuinely humble. Mercy could be there, but we cannot digest it without a humble heart. Trinada pisunichena, taror ibasa yishnana, amanina manadena, kirtaniya sadhari. This is what Prahlad Maharaj is teaching us in this verse today. Thank you very much.